Speaking of people who need hobbies, let's talk about Kale. And her hobby needs to involve something other than popping out kids with men she doesn't know, right? So she came back to the Karma and Chaos podcast. She had to take some time off because she had another surgery, right? She had like some sort of a neck lift or something like that to fix her double chin issue. She was not happy with it, so she got it fixed. Listen, from what I've seen so far, the results look rather good. But Kail is unhappy with her results for the time being. This is something that she let us know on the podcast, and it's particularly because there's something going on with the nerve. Do you guys remember? Some of you guys, I know, especially Jaleesa, East Awesome, Allie, and Star. I know you guys watch The Valley. I think some more of you guys do as well, but do you guys remember season 1 of The Valley, Brittany Cartwright, when she had her like meltdown? Every time she talked to us like this, Jax, give me my sparkle. What about date night? She had her like thing pulling like that. Sorry, but it was really hard to look at that entire season. So Kail says she has that going on, but that she's really good at hiding it. And that's driving her nuts. And that apparently that side effect can last for up to 1 year. Okay, so just to set the stage of what she's got going on and the crash out that she's currently experiencing, right? And so from the very beginning of this podcast, if you guys go and suffer through it the way I did, from the first minute in, you will hear what I heard, which is her talking about how somebody in like Sweden or something like that had some kind of assisted suicide and she wants that. She's like, listen, if my results don't look any better, I'm going over there and I'm getting an assisted suicide. Hang on, let me go back and put up the picture I had yesterday of Kail with all of her kids. Because you already know that the girl is unwell because she's got 7 kids by 4 different men, right? Like, But it's crazy to see just how unwell specifically she is, that she is so vain as to say that she is going to leave those 7 kids who she chose to bring into this earth, right? She's going to leave them behind because she might not be happy with the way that her plastic surgery that she didn't even need to get looks. And she just kept bringing it up. And her friends had to tell her to chill. Go look at the comment section, you guys, for the last episode of the Karma and Chaos podcast. Everybody is saying, Kail, you need to stop with these suicide jokes. They're weird. They're unfunny. And I hope that you're not saying this stuff to your children, because it is just so beyond inappropriate that you keep on threatening this. And it's not funny. Like you need to find like another, what do you call it? Shtick. It's just seriously unfunny. It's worrisome and it's triggering, right? I think there's another story that came out recently about a mother who did this without even telling her child. And she had 1 child and it was a daughter. And so maybe you guys, if you're watching me live on TikTok or on YouTube, or if you're watching the playback and you know this story I'm talking about, but essentially this woman, she told her daughter she was going off on a trip, right? And she'd be back from her trip eventually, of course, right? So she goes off on the trip. The daughter, I guess, is happy for her that she's going on a trip. And guess what? The mom just doesn't come back, because the secret trip that her mom went on was actually one of these kinds of trips, right? She went to a different country to get an assisted suicide. So people can be triggered by this stuff. It's not funny, right? Passing away is not funny. Like, opting to pass away is not funny. And especially when you say that this is something you want to do to your children over plastic surgery results, that's especially unfunny, right? It was a very uncomfortable episode. And something else that was really weird. So Kail has either been replaying old podcast episodes or having her co-host do the stuff for her, right? While she's been away recovering. And so Becky has truly been holding it down on this podcast. I don't listen to the episodes without Kail because we're not here for Becky information, right? We grew up with have Kail that we've been watching forever. Becky is just we don't have that same connection with her. But that doesn't mean that the podcast becomes irrelevant or whatever when Becky is on alone. I think there are other people who enjoy listening to Becky on the show. And so Kail says, people told me I had to come back to the show or they'd boycott it. Like, kind of as an FU to her friend Becky and all of the time, energy, and effort that she's put into keeping the thing going during Kail's latest absence. This is not even the first time this year that Kail has had to leave the show to her co-hosts to run without her so that she can run off and get plastic surgery, right? It was only a couple months ago that she ran off to get another round of lipo, tummy tuck. She got some kind of a breast lift as well. Like, like it's, and so the thank you is, oh, people said they were going to boycott it if I didn't come back. Basically, they don't give an F about you. And so that was really weird to me, right? And so I want to talk to you guys also about how I kind of feel as though Kale is a little bit biphobic a little bit later on. But first, I want to read you guys' comments about what I've said so far, because I've said an awful lot. And I need to stop yapping and to get into what it is that you guys are saying over here in the live chat. Okay. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say in the playback as well. But for now, seeing as we're live, I'm going to get into the live chat. And as I head over there, I'm going to put up this photo of Kale and all of her kids that she's joking about leaving behind over some plastic surgery results. Okay, so let's hop into the live chat. You know what I could even do, you guys? Why don't I drop a call-in link in case any of you guys want to hop on and actually talk about this a little bit more at length. So let me go ahead, grab that call-in link. I know that typically it's either really early for you guys or really late for you guys, or you guys are at work, but just in case any of you guys are available, let me go ahead and drop this in. I keep telling y'all, like, she is not feeling good. She's not feeling good, and she's masking it behind dark humor. But if this is all you keep talking about, I think this is something that might be on your mind. And remember, her latest kids, she just popped them out like a year ago, right? 3 of them. So yeah, maybe she's going through a lot of hormonal issues or something like that. I don't know, but it is just so worrisome. Carly, you are Irish. I knew it. I'm Irish, raised American, though. Don't hate me for it. Listen, I love my American co-reporters, but I know an Irish girl when I see one. Love. SW says, hi, Grace. Greetings from Germany. Hey, Sarah. I have a friend who's going to be staying a month in Germany. She's doing some kind of like pet sitting thing for a friend that she met on vacation. I don't remember where she's going to be. I was telling her, listen, girl, go enjoy Oktoberfest over there. I wish I still drank. I do, but like once in a blue moon kind of thing. Hey, guys, let's see what you guys have to say, right? Winnie the Cat says, her body, her choice, I guess, but once again, showing her selfishness or possibly severe depression and cry for help. I really do think that this is, a depression sort of a thing that she is masking behind humor. Hey, Erica, thanks so much. So nice to see you, boo. Hey. Thank you. I do think that like she's trying to hide it behind humor, but it's a real cry for help. I think that when your friends are constantly talking to you about these kinds of like really dark things, even if they're kind of like acting like it's a joke, like I think like you have to take that stuff seriously and see what you can do to help them. Like, what does she need in her life right now? Because clearly she's just not doing well at all, right? Kate says she was cringing listening to that episode, and that Kale is clearly unwell. I think so too, and this is not like a ha or whatever snark sort of thing. It's like, yeah, like she's not doing okay, right? Like it's all of these kids, right? By all of these guys, half of them hate you. And then on top of that, half the internet hates you or makes fun of you or whatever. And then you don't have a relationship with your parents. You're like an orphan with parents who are still alive. She wants to go see her dad on his deathbed. Hey, OMG, good morning. And get some confessions out of him, but he doesn't care about her. Oh, like it's a lot she's going through right now, right? And then like maybe all of the exhaustion or pain from plastic surgery back to back, like it's a lot, right? And I feel like I'm not even naming the tip of the iceberg. I think there's so many more, things that she's going through, right? Body dysmorphia in general and whatnot, right? Like she's got a lot going on, a lot. And yeah, like she's sounding the alarm, but I think she needs to just be real and say, hey, listen, I'm struggling with ideation, and just put it out that way instead of trying to make us think that it's normal to joke about this, right? Hamlet says, what the F? That girl needs so much help. Her poor kids. Elliot can see and understand this stuff. And that's the thing, right? Like her kid listens to her podcast. Like she puts these clips on social media and whatnot. So just seeing your mom making these kinds of jokes, quote unquote jokes, like constantly, like it's weird, right? It's really weird. And I agree, Ashley. I think she means it deep down and she's testing the waters or something. Like this is scary. Becca says she's scaring me at this point. She's saying it like it's a joke, but I don't think she's joking at all. I think she's crying out for help. Same here. I really do think that somebody needs to check on her, like truly, like heart to heart, what's going on? What do you need? Like, this is, this is not funny, and we're here for you, kind of a thing, right? Ramster says it seems like she puts out a cry for help, but it could also be for attention. I do worry about that too. But to me, the risk of this being real is just so great that I would be doing something if I were a friend of hers. And Magali says on TikTok, getting 7 kids to school sounds exhausting. And I agree. Y'all, she put up a vlog like 2 days ago about her day getting these kids to school, like doing it all alone. Like, oh, you think you finally find somebody who's going to like be there for you, ride or die, blah, blah. Like, he's obsessed with you and he cheats on you. Like, and now you're stuck doing all this on your own. And you're like a young girl, like you're only like 32 years old. Like, this is your life. Like, that sounds brutal. I'm sorry, but it sounds brutal. Erica says she needs to stop. I lost my parents 18 days apart to COVID-19 and I was 35. Ouch. I'm so lost without them. Her kids will be small and will be very much still need her. That talk is a serious cry for help. And I agree. And I'm so sorry you lost your parents, especially back to back like that, Erica. Oh my God. But it's not funny. So many people are triggered by this, the loss of their parents, And so to see somebody whose whole brand is the fact that they're trying to, populate their city, right? Or their subdivision or whatever. And she's just keying while all these people are still so young. Half of them are under 2 years old. She's joking about leaving them all behind over plastic surgery results. And remember, the last time we did a recap about her joking about suicide, what was she saying? Oh, it's okay. I'm worth more to them dead than alive because of my life insurance policies. She's not okay, y'all. Sarah, buenos dias, desde nice pre-fallish Houston. Buenas. Oh my God. Buenas dias, chiquisita. Desde el frío París. Con el lluvia. Castle says she needs to get help for her mental health. She's always been a depressed, angry, unhappy person and very selfish. Her kids are the ones that suffer. And I agree. Kale, please. She's been in therapy, right? She's been in therapy for 7 years. Maybe she needs something a little bit more intense. I know some of you guys have talked to me about different types of therapies. I think, what is it called? Cognitive behavioral therapy, like something else, because whatever she's doing is just not helping. Did she do another thing of shading V on Barely Famous, Julissa? Is she not tired? And again, I get it. She's had a really, really rough life. But when you're out here popping out kids back to back to back to back to back to back, you owe it to them to get better. You owe it to them to put in the work, right? Not good, right? And parents really do leave their kids alone, right? Like, they really do take their own lives and stuff, right? So it's not okay. This is not funny. And this actually is a risk, right? Even when their kids are really young and, things like postpartum depression or psychosis or whatever, these are very real things that she could potentially be suffering from. When he says, Kale is always, what are you doing for me now? Not what have you done for me in general. Very, very sad stuff, right? BR, don't worry. We're still talking about her. And I do think they'll see this stuff, right? Acacia says that she is always seeking attention and validation. And it's so old, though. Like, come up with something new. Come up with something fresh and exciting. This is not fun. This is weird and depressing, right? Shelby says she cuts any real friends who would raise alarm bells and hold her accountable out of her life, and everyone is left is on the payroll. And I actually saw Becky being like a real friend and whatnot, but I think even Becky is a little bit perturbed by all this. And maybe because Becky's got this like newborn and whatnot, she is not, able to really kind of pay much attention. She may be sleep deprived, exhausted herself or something with so much on her own plate. Becky says, the way she hates herself and also has this way of thinking she's so superior and better than everyone is wild. And you know what? That's an interesting way to put it, because I do think that that's kind of like the dichotomy of her personality, right? Like self-loathing, yet a lot of self-importance too at the same time. And all of it, hides behind money. Alexa says, Kale is showing so many red flags and no one in her life is taking it seriously. I agree. Listen, let it be known that we here on the Morning Report, on YouTube and on TikTok, like we see it, we hear it, and we're taking it seriously. We're not connected to Kale though, so there's nothing really we can do, but we see it for the red flag that it is. It's not light banter casual conversation. Like, it's alarming. Jillian says, I mean, it's clear Elijah's very present and very helpful. Yeah, she did mention Elijah being present and joking with her about her plastic surgery and stuff. So at least he's around. But I think that cheating or whatever traumatized her. But at the same time, the girl's been cheating on everybody she's with. So I think it was a certain level of karma for her. Hey, Jillian, thanks so much for your batch. Magali says, Miguel says, maybe even EMDR. I'm not being funny. I grew up like her and it helped me. What does EMDR stand for? Because listen, I do think she needs to explore. I don't think you're being funny at all. I think she needs to explore, right? To figure out what can help her, because whatever she's doing is just not really helping at all. SW also says, deep down, she's really unwell. All this plastic surgery and her talking about more kids when you're a single mom. And that's the thing. You're talking about having more kids simultaneously. Yours are still really young. 3 of them are like 1 and under. And you're also planning to off yourself. ASAP. What is this? Right? And I'm so sorry you're struggling with that, Carly. Hang in there. Stay strong. Right? Like, it's, and you recognize the gravity of it. And like, just to put that on other people around you too, I think it's unfair. Like, if my friend were joking about that constantly, like, that's not cool. Like, I don't want this kind of energy. You know what I mean? Now let's talk about why I think that Kale is kind of like biphobic. And it has to do with the way she talks to Becky and like jokes about things with Becky and whatnot. Kale is constantly flirting with Becky on this podcast, right? Again, this is something I kind of went over with my channel members in a video I posted yesterday, but she was saying that, long story short, like, she was talking about swingers things. Here in France, they call them les, club échangistes, so swingers clubs or whatever. And she was asking Becky, her friend who is married, Becky who has a newborn son at home. She's like, oh, like, oh, my naked body this, my naked body that, searching for validation. And then she goes, I kind of want to go to a swingers club. Becky, like, how would you feel about going to a swingers club with me? Thanks, Tyrell. Nice to see you. Good morning. Do you think she would do that to a straight friend? Like a straight female friend or a bisexual female friend with a husband? Would she do that with her male friends who are married with wives? Like, some of the ways that she kind of acts like Becky's home situation with a wife and a child is just not important is so strange to me, and yeah, she is bi, and that's the thing, right? That's like the thing too. It's like, you're part of this community yourself, but she seems to not take Becky's relationship seriously at all. And I think that there's a certain level of internalized homophobia with that. Just saying, like, she's constantly trying to bait Becky and flirt with Becky and like ask her if she finds her hot and this and that, remind her about the time that they made out and this, like, all sorts of things, right? Like, she's really like just weird when it comes to Becky. Mocha says Kale defines herself by her money. That's why she thinks she can control people and everything around her, except the rest of the world doesn't care about the money, period. She should have learned her lesson with Chris. Listen, Chris kind of used her a little bit for that money, but he was not hooked enough to go and really full-blown pretend to, be in love with her or anything like that, right? And I agree, Kristen. This kind of reminds me of Kate and her neglected horse. Remember, she wanted a horse because she was going through things, and then that horse was never even brushed or used or anything like that. Kate says, I second the EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy. Right? There are so many things. She needs to try as hard as she can, because she is just not, she's not doing well. Right? And I agree. I don't think Becky's wife really cares for her that much. What's Becky's wife's name again? I keep forgetting. But yeah, like, she seems like a really nice lady. And if I were her, I'd be keeping an eye out for Kale. Right? Tyrell says maybe she doesn't seem to care about others' families. I don't think she does, right? Even her own, because she is a rampant cheater, right? So if I were Becky's wifey, I would not really be so cool with her having this friendship with Kale personally, right? And I agree. If it's not her, it's not important. Good morning, Misha. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Almost Thanksgiving. Listen, I'm going to be doing Thanksgiving with my friends here in Paris. We're going to be celebrating it in November, though, because like turkeys and stuff like that, because there are more American expats here than like Canadian ones. That stuff comes out in November. So I'm going to be doing that with them in November. So stay tuned. I'm excited. It's my first time cooking a turkey. Michelle says pre-surgery psych. My gosh, she should have never been allowed to proceed until she was in a better mental state. And I agree. Right? That's the thing though. Like, unless you're like a glaring red flag, like surgeons and whatnot, they don't have to do any kinds of evaluations on you. They can just take your money and do that operation, right? So Misha thinks that she would kind of home wreck that situation. I wouldn't be surprised, right? Kind of like how Kale treated Joe when he got with V. She was so jealous of V. Oh my God. She smokes pot. Meanwhile, that girl, she smoked her own pot. Just saying.